Hello everyone, Spencer here, also known as Screen Speak, and in today's video, this is my Doctor Who Season 2 on Disney+, but in reality, Season 15 overall. Spoiler review. So without further ado, let's discuss. Alright guys. So as I just said, this is a spoiler review of the newest season, Season 2, that they've, rebooted on Disney+, but in reality, it's technically it's like a new era amongst the new era amongst the OG Doctor Who. Like, when they rebooted with Season 9, or with the 9th Doctor, they've always talked about past stuff, and they still talk about past stuff in this season. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about this Doctor specifically, and this era. I have a good friend, my best friend, Michael. That's not a brag. I can brag about myself. But my best friend, Michael, who you've seen in my videos, I'm not outing him in any way, shape, or form, because I know 100% he would hate this episode. Hate the finale of this season, hate the season in general. Because I said, or he said when this Doctor regenerated, he's like, the bi-regeneration was stupid. I have no strict, hard feelings on it. It's just something they added to the show. I know that there's politics. I know that people hate pushing the agenda in shows and the message in shows in general. Kind of like The Last of Us. But this Doctor Who is one of my favorite shows, and I'm not going to say that there's any way you can mess it up, because one of my favorite. Let's take Rick and Morty for example, and also it's other companion show, Rick and Morty's companion show, Solar Opposites. If you don't know those shows, well, Justin Roiland was a part of those shows. I'm taking a little bit of a detour right now, but they use a sci-fi effect because the voice actor Justin Roiland is gone. So in Solar Opposites, they used a device to make Justin Roiland's character different. They used like a voice changer array. Alright, that's something that's sci-fi related. In Doctor Who, they bi-regenerate, changing the regeneration cycle. And it's like, alrighty, something you're changing in this show, it's like, it's just a sci-fi show, guys. Like, it's not like we're taking real, yes, we're making up something like bisexual characters, we're making a bi-generation. It sounds stupid. But it's just for the dang show. I mean, I'm wearing a regeneration shirt here, guys. Can we get over that? But this is besides the point. There's this new companion. I do want to say before I get into it, I'm not going to go into beat by beat of how this show or how this season works. Like, go watch it for yourself. Really, there's new robots in the first episode. There's new creatures. There's like a spider episode. There's the third episode, which is actually probably my favorite. But I'll get to that in a minute. But what I like the least about this season, well, this season has come down for a conundrum for me. And, John Campea used those same words about the Book of Boba Fett, and I'm not, I love Doctor Who. It's my second favorite show ever. But, there's something, I'm glad Murray Gold returned to do the music. I'm glad that Russell T Davies returned to come back to write and stuff for this. And I'm not crapping on, before I swear on the channel, I'm not crapping on Murray Gold. I'm not crapping on Russell T Davies, the writing or the composing. The music's awesome. But one of the things for me that bothered me is the season. I was talking about this with my dad watching it. It's so short. 7 episodes or 8 episodes. And I'm like, now one of my favorite things about the finale is, I'm kind of interweaving all this, but one of my favorite things about the finale is they tied in the Christmas special into the season, into the finale. And I was blown away by that. There were other things that I loved about the finale, but as an ultimatum, because first and foremost, the Doctor regenerates, which I'll get back to later in this review, but the Doctor regenerates, and it feels so short as a Doctor because I like him. Lots of people are frustrated with this iteration, and I met people that like this Doctor too. I like him, and I like the Doctor's theme in this, and every time I hear it in the theme, and by the way, the villain theme, let's cut right to the chase. The Ronnie, who's the Time Lady, who comes back from classic OG, they brought Sutek, the one god from the most previous season. and the Ronnie, who's a new time lady. I thought the Master was going to come back. Like, that's just something I thought was going to happen. When you heard the beat, but it was the oldest time. It was the oldest time Lord Omega. Like, okay. That was like, it was a cool looking design creature, like a big skeleton, but I'm like, there's a big bone temple, the bone palace in the end. Alright. So very cool stuff. But like, kind of jumping around here, the music, like, I'm just like, I thought the companion story was the weakest part of this season. In my opinion, it really was. Because we're doing, like, I loved the second episode, the Mr. Ring-a-Ding episode with the Roger Rabbit. I watched behind the scenes of how they did it. It was like a Roger Rabbit style. Literally, they had one of the animators from Roger Rabbit come in to work on the cartoon character Mr. Ring-a-Ding, who was the god Lux, the god of light. Awesome episode. I love that character. The third episode was a sequel to the episode with the season with David Tennant called Midnight. That was on the planet called Midnight. And it was all about like this well on the planet Midnight that had been gone, or that had been around for 10,000 years, and the planet made of diamonds had, like, the planet, all diamonds went away. And I thought the episode was awesome, guys. Like, it was tense, it was horrifying, just like Midnight and this creature. It was awesome. And it felt like it's such a distraction, like, you know, they use the Vindicator, and then they're like, you know, Mrs. Flood, you keep seeing Mrs. Flood, which is interesting. It's a threat, but it's like, okay, it's like an interesting mystery. And I love that episode, but it felt like such a takeout. Like, all right, the companion's here. You know, like, I love it. Like, there's episodes that tie in to this season, but something that really drove me nuts was, so, like, that episode just felt like a departure from the rest of what they were building up in the season, and then it was like, now there was that story episode, the story with the spider, the story in the engine. It just kind of meant nothing, and then we get the, some of the Doctor Who episodes are like little interesting stories, but then they like then you can like think about other things, but then we get the Conrad episode, which then Conrad comes back in the finale, but he's such a douche, and that episode is so like unsufferable that you don't care about that episode. Once you get into the finale, you're like, oh my god, why is Conrad back? And what, he was such a douche, I don't care about this episode. Then you're like, sitting there in the finale, I'm like, this is fun. Like, because what made it so much fun, and hear me out here, what made it so much fun was the Ronnie's theme, and that tenseness of the Ronnie mixed with the confusion of Conrad, mixed with the confusion of what is this world, mixed with the like, I love seeing Melly Gibson back, but it felt like they were shoehorning in some, like, not a lot of things, just confusing things to tie back into a stupid episode of Conrad, to completely forget about the Well episode, which is the sequel to Midnight. I thought it was structured very bizarrely. Alright? So, I gotta just say right here, right now, that I enjoyed watching this season as a Doctor Who fan. But, and again, I'm not done with my review yet. There's still more to be said. I'm just confused as a structure, I have a gut feeling with you. The way this season ends, and again, I'm not done. I haven't said everything I want to say yet. I have a gut feeling that they're probably gonna work out more episodes, because there's talks that they're not putting it on Disney Plus anymore. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. But with that said, I think that there's more to that they're reworking stuff with it, trying to create more freedom, control. Like, let's stretch this out. I don't know. I hope that's the case. But I thought this was a very structured, very strangely. Now, people say that about Last of Us. Like, this Last of Us season wasn't very good. Now, I liked the Last of Us season too, but I thought Doctor Who this season was like, I enjoyed it for the most part. Like, I think like the Ronnie Time Lady was a better villain than Sutek was. But to get there by the finale, I'm like, I'm very confused. And also the fact that, so the finale, the Doctor and Belinda Chandra, the new companion, had a daughter. But it wasn't really their daughter because they were in a fake world. So what ultimately happened? Oh, we have to show flashbacks once they're in the proper timeline, the correct setting of Earth, reality. It's Belinda Chandra's daughter, not the doctor's, and Belinda was with another man. And then, not only that, they show us flashbacks that weren't really, they didn't, that didn't, of dialogue that really didn't happen, of moments from the past episodes that she's like, yeah, me, will I ever see my daughter again? I gotta get back to see Poppy because they can't get back to May the 24th. And I'm sitting there watching, with my dad watching it going, I'm so confused, like, when did this happen? And then when she says, well, I was with another guy, I go, okay, that's cool, but like, you didn't have those moments. It feels like, it's moments like that, like, this is the first time I've ever been frustrated, right? Not with anything. I hate Despicable Me 4, but with this show, and it's like, it's not like I'll never watch this show again. I will. But like, I'm watching it going, there needed to be more explained in the story. Like I just said, this season was clunky as hell. And I'm watching it going, yeah, but if that's what they wanted to get across, like, they should have asked those questions before, not left the flashbacks to here and gone, will I ever see my daughter again? So, I don't know, it kind of like just like felt very bizarre and half-assed it, but I don't know. Speaking of that, like, it made me think of like my friend Michael, who, when we watched Multiverse of Madness and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, like they showed like very exposition confusion there. In Multiverse of Madness, they needed more, or they did something. I forget what his thoughts were on that, but especially in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, when Hank Pym kept doing the earpiece, like, oh yeah, these are the flashbacks, so you can notice that. That's something you would notice, like, I had the earpiece. That's stupid. They shouldn't do that. They shouldn't have shown and told all that stuff. But in this season of Doctor Who, it's like, oh, well, you know, will I ever get to see my daughter again, Poppy? But it's just a frustration. But I loved the Time Hotel coming back. I love the Time Hotel. I thought the Ronnie scene was interesting. I thought the set design was very interesting. The Lux episode was interesting. The third episode, The Well, was interesting. Other than that, though, like, the story and the engine episode was dumb. I mean, like forgettable. The Interstellar Space one was dumb and forgettable. And the Conrad episode was weird. So, like, and then we get, well, third episode was it, and then I forget what was after that. So we had episode 1 was the robot one. Number 2 was Lux. Number 3 was The Well. Number 4 was the Conrad one. Number 5 was the story one. Number 6 was the Interstellar Space one. Interstellar Song Contest. I didn't care about that ultimately until the finale when Mrs. Flood regenerated. And then number 6 was the reality one. Were there only 7 episodes, not 8? No, that can't be right. Alright, so I had it exactly correct. I have no idea what I just did. I'm looking at it right here on my phone right now. So it was 1, the Robot Revolution. Well, before that, it was the Christmas episode, Joy to the World. Robot Revolution, 1 for the season. 2 was Lux. Great. I love that one. The Well, great. Love that one. Lucky Day was just dumb. I don't know. Yeah, okay. I enjoyed it, but it was like, he's a douchey guy. Story and the Engine, which again was fun. Like, I enjoyed watching Doctor Who, but it was just like kind of forgettable. The Interstellar Space Song Contest, just, you know, I liked it until she regenerated, that Ronnie. 7 was Wish World. Like, the last two, the last two to be continued, two-parter was great. But to get there, it was like, oh, and I've never said that about Doctor Who. Last season was fine. Let's go back at last season. Let's go back and look at last season. Man, my friend is going to be, Michael's going to be so, he is not ready for, the Church of Ruby Road. Why is the Christmas episode not included with the last season, with the second season? I don't know. Space Babies, again, because it was new to the Doctor Who, because it was the first time we're seeing this version of the Doctor, I enjoyed Space Babies. I enjoyed Ruby Sunday, Millie Gibson. She's really good. Like, the Devil's Court, all these episodes I really enjoyed, actually. Like, Dot and Bubble, Rogue, The Legend of Ruby Sunday. There's 9 episodes. Well, that's not including, there's 8 episodes if you don't include the... No, don't play it. Shit, talking mushrooms. Anywho... Oh, he's done with his stream, bro. Anyway... I like season 1 more, and you know what? It's like, I'm excited to see where they go. So basically, the Doctor regenerates into Billie Piper, who is Rose's actor. And my dad was like, that might happen. He told me, like, there's a rumor that might happen, and I'm very excited. Oh, and Jodie Whittaker, the female Doctor, the first female Doctor, came in as a cameo. I quite like that. And then there were the faces on the console saying that, you know, like, oh, you're going to regenerate. Here are all your faces. So, I have some negatives on this season. I thought it was cool that Jodie Whittaker came in. I think it's awesome that Billie Piper's now the Doctor. I think it's cool that she is. I would love it if Michael Sheen, who is the angel in Good Omens, plays the Doctor. That would be awesome. But I don't know if it's something with his age. I don't know. I mean, maybe he could come in after, like, maybe a call at BBC and go, hey, man, after Billie Piper's the Doctor, how about you bring in Michael Sheen? And be like, yeah, but I don't know. They won't listen to me. No company would ever listen to me. I'm just some douche sitting here. No, I'm not a douche. I'm a douche off camera. Being sarcastic. But this season was a conundrum. It was clunky. I liked bits and pieces. I love the 2-part finale. But it was... like, the Conrad episode itself was unsufferable, and to bring it back was such a strange, dumb move. Again, he made sense for the finale, but I don't think people go, oh my gosh, Conrad's back, I love that guy. No. So I don't know what the companion story was, like I said, clunky, just not the best thing ever. Having having Ruby back, the other R name, having Ruby Sunday back, Millie Gibson's character, such a delight. I think she's cute, but having her back was such a delight. And, you know, they brought other companions back. I mean, hell, they had Mel back in this season, but it's just like, and Kate from Unit's back, but I love the finale, but it's like, you get there, like, I don't know. So, with that said, I don't even know what I rated last season. I really don't care anymore. It's just like I'm hoping that next season is better. I can only hope. I can only hope, because this reminds me of when they regenerated into the first female Doctor. Like, oh my gosh, it's the first female Doctor. What's gonna happen now? What's gonna happen with Billie Piper? And who's she gonna meet? How's she gonna react? Like, after David Tennant came back, and she's never been a Doctor before. What's the reaction gonna be? What's the outcome gonna be? I don't know, and I'm just hoping that they continue it to be good. I've enjoyed this season. I was really excited for this season to come out, and I thought the trailer looked interesting. There was, like I said, bits and pieces like Mr. Ring-a-Ding, the well. The spider thing, I was really excited about the spider thing. You saw it in the trailer. I was like, oh, that's cool. And it was just like this dumb thing in space, and they really didn't do crap with it. So, yeah. So, I'm going to rate this season I really want to say a 5 out of 10 for me. I'm going to give it a generous 6 out of 10. That's my rating of this season of Doctor Who. I am sorry to all you Doctor Who fans out there. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big Doctor Who fan. I got a shirt right here. I got thousands of pops, wherever they are. So, yeah. But I hope it's better. I hope it gets better. You only get hope. Rebellions are built on hope. That's what they say in Star Wars. So don't forget to stay up to date what I got coming out. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me, and yeah, be sure to keep up to date on what I got coming out. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me, subscribe to the Screen Speak channel and channel family. And as always, keep calm, watch the screen. Peace out, everyone. Bye.